back in the fold. So, Coach Sype, how we doing, buddy?
Life's good, man. It's a good day for doctor's appointments too. I'm in between a couple of them myself today, so I'm coming to you live from my home today.
Yeah, we were like, that's not a classroom back there. He's
No,
playing
I
hooky.
promise I'm not skipping. I'm in between.
No one from Boardman better be watching right now.
No. I filled out all the proper paperwork. I'm all good to go today. How's it going?
Coach, we are going to talk everything that's been going on in the track world the last couple of weeks. But first and foremost, we have a great interview for you today with someone that I know you've talked about a lot both years we've been doing this. Rightfully so. You think he's one of the best in the state. His numbers definitely back that up. From Lowville, Drew Modelski comes on with us. Drew, thanks for coming on, buddy.
How's it going, guys? Thank you for having me.
We're going so
How are
good.
you, bud?
Probably
Very
not as
good.
good as you, right? Probably not as good as you. You're probably doing a little bit better than us with the start to the season you've been having. But first question for you is just talk about preparing for this season. After the year you had last year, what was it like trying to get back and stepping up and raising the game even more this year?
I think last year for me was kind of like a stepping stone for this year. It was more like because last year we won state in the 4x4. It was kind of more of like a taste. Like I got a little taste of what like winning actually felt like. So this summer, obviously, I started this new program with my dad and some of my coaches, doing a lot more endurance work so I could be ready. While everyone else was playing football, I was lifting more. And I was just more to get ready for the season coming up ahead.
It's good stuff, man. We finally got to see you live last week or 2 weeks ago now at County. That was a good matchup, you versus Braden Bryan on all the sprint events there. I was really excited to see that, and you put a show on out there. It was pretty nice. You got the 1, the 2, and the 4 that day. How do you feel about all that?
Yeah, Braden, he's a talented kid. I know you can't take that away from him. He's actually really, really talented. But I was okay with my performance. I'm always very hard on myself. Like I always think I could do better. So I was okay with those numbers. It was really windy. My 400 probably wasn't as good as I thought I could run that day. 200 was good. And yeah, I think it was a solid performance overall for that kind of day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was kind of bummed that we didn't get to see the 4x4s go because of the weather, but I mean, it's kind of hard to run in a hurricane sometimes.
Yeah.
But that was a great matchup. I was excited to see it, and like I said, you put on a show. So, let's talk about that dedication to endurance. What kind of stuff did you end up doing there in the summertime?
Summertime, that was when we first started the workout. So I wasn't in any sort of shape at all. One of my workouts, like my dad would be telling me before the season would start, I'd be dreading it every week.
At this time,
It would be,
give
give me 1 second.
Please report to room 128 with something to write with. Again, all 7th grade students, please report to room 128 with something to write with. Thank you.
That workout would be 16 200s at probably, it would say 32, and you would have a 2-minute break in between. Mm-hmm. So as soon as that 2-minute break's over, you go again. Every we did that once a week, and every week you would drop a second and drop a 200. So that was a workout you would really dread every week, but you had to do it because that's the hardest part is the training. And yeah, you had to do it. Another workout. All the workouts were rough.
Yeah, I know those interval workouts and those things to build endurance are never fun. I always tell my mid-distance kids when we hit it, I'm like, today's workout is only going to be 10 minutes long, but it's 200 at 30 seconds with 45-second rest or something like that. But you really got to hit those sometimes. They are grinds, they are grueling, but again, those are the things that get you to that next level and that push that lactate stuff out of your system. So that's a good one, man. Absolutely.
Yeah.
We're talking about the grind that workouts and getting endurance up is. There are probably days where you're not feeling it, right? You just, it's so hard. You're maybe you're having a good day or you don't feel exactly 100%. On those days, what keeps you driven to keep going?
It's more just I always have that sort of drive behind my, in the back of my head because of last year. Last year, I obviously, to my standards, I didn't do what I thought I was capable of. I didn't place what I wanted. Times weren't so good. So this year I came back kind of with a vengeance. I was upset. So to keep that, I kept that in the back of my head to remember, if I don't work at it, I'm not going to see results. So I have to obviously keep doing workouts, get faster, more endurance stay in shape and be ready for state this year.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I mean, I think you're in the driver's seat to do some good things and some special stuff this spring. So, like, you sound a little bit like me. What do you like more, not losing or winning?
That's a hard one. Probably not losing. I've never, ever liked losing. I think that's most competitors. Nothing's fun about it.
Yeah, it's always an opportunity to learn something. What could you have done better? And like, what little things do you need to work on? So, any other special things you've been trying to tweak this spring? Working on your starts, the turns, breathing, anything like that?
Yeah, a big thing for me recently has been form. I feel like I lack like good form in my running, and breathing. That's another one, very important. And yeah, starts for my 100. My 100's more of like, I usually talk about it as like kind of like a warm up for my 4, because you can't like simulate like how explosive you have to be and how like much speed that takes. You can't like simulate that doing like run throughs. So I always use the 100 as like a pre little warm up for my 4 and 2, because I feel like those are more of my main events.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, my start's going to be a big one this year.
Well, I mean, you're still running the 100 pretty good, so don't be so hard on yourself there, buddy.
The Drew Modelski, the perfectionist, always trying to get better, right? Drew, we know that Lowville has a great coaching staff in their track and field department. Talk about them and what they've kind of pushed you and how they've kind of helped you get to where you are.
Yeah, I couldn't do it without them. Every single one of them are important to me. They I'm down after like a bad race, they'll coach me back up. Yeah, they're sweet to me, every single one of them.
I mean, you got some pretty good teammates too. Like,
yeah.
do you take it on your shoulders to be like the leader, or like how do you lead? Lead by example, vocal leader? What's your style?
It's not that I lead. I feel like it's more of like just being there for them. Like my friend Josh, he's like friend first before teammate. I figure like that. And like if he has a bad race, I'll tell him what I think he could do better. He's obviously a very, very strong runner. I think he's very good. And like he'll usually be like, "What did I do wrong? What did I do wrong?" I'll try to help him, but usually it's just like for me sometimes it's more like a mental thing if I do bad, because it could be the weather, it could be I was tired that day. It doesn't matter. But yeah, I'll try and lead. I'll try and help kids when they need it, because I feel like some kids who like are new to track need more like help because they obviously don't know much. So I'll be there for people who need help, or if they don't need help, I won't help them.
We also see you shine on the basketball court during the winter. Talk about what does basketball kind of bring to your track season? What's it like to have that to prepare you for the spring?
I use basketball more as like to get ready and all, because like I have no endurance because I don't play football, obviously. And like I use basketball to just get my legs moving every day. It's very fun. Like it's probably more fun than track, because track, like there's a lot of stress involved, a lot of like you have to eat healthier, you have to get more sleep, a lot more like dedication and sacrifice to do a track. So basketball is more like a fun thing just to go out and do before I start stressing about track.
Yeah, it is like you against the world type of mentality, especially being an individual star there with your three events that you're shining in. Let's talk about what's going to happen over the next couple of weeks here. How is your mindset going to be changing as we get to district conference championships and then get into districts and regionals?
This is the time I'm really gonna have to have a sacrifice play. I'm really gonna have to lock in. I'm gonna have to get my sleep. I'm gonna eat right. I'm gonna have to stay away from people who are gonna distract me. I'm just gonna have to be ready and be alone and be in my own zone. Just be ready for districts, regionals, and state.
I always like asking track runners this because it is such an individual sport, but it's also a team sport. How do you balance that? How do you balance focusing on your own on your own times, on your own work, but also, like we already talked about, being a leader and being a good teammate to the other guys that are running on the track team?
I'll try and still I'll help them as much as I possibly can. I'll do whatever they need, but at the end of the day, I feel like it's more of an individual sport, so I have to almost I don't want to say it like that, almost put my priorities ahead of theirs because it's more individual. But I will help them if they need it, and yeah, I probably have to focus on what I'm doing before I try and help them. You know what I'm saying?
So what's the future holding for you? What do you want to do when the season ends? Well, most important thing, once state's over, what's that first meal you're going to go after before the summer season starts?
Probably McDonald's. Probably McDonald's.
Yeah, that's a good one to cut out this time of year with all the soda.
Yeah.
All right, that's a good one. So, what do you want to do next year? Like, what do you want to major in? What do you want to? What's the future hold for you?
The main goal for me is I do want to try and run in college, and I also want to be a PA, physician assistant. So I'm probably going to try and major in biochemistry.
Mm-hmm.
And I do want to go, hopefully, Division I if I can stay healthy, keep my head on straight. And yeah, that's pretty much.
What's the recruitment process been like for you? I mean, how much have you been talking to college coaches and kind of putting the feelers out there of where are some spots you can go and land?
Yeah, I've been emailing a few colleges. Some haven't responded, some have. But I still think, obviously, like the higher D1s like Texas A&M, Oregon, like they're going to want me to run faster than I'm running. So I'm going to have to get my times down before I keep like responding and keep emailing them.
So what's have you stayed in touch with Michael to see how everything's going with him and his process there over at YSU?
Yeah, he helps me a lot. I'm always asking him for simple tips that he did that I don't do. Like ask him how he cooled down after his races, what he ate to be ready for it, how much he slept, like all those kind of things. He's a very good athlete, very good at what he does. He's a big competitor. Whatever he does, he's going to take. He's doing 110%. He's very talented at what he does.
You know, we've already talked about the leadership you bring to the table and how you kind of build guys up, but you don't get to that point without people showing you how to be a leader. Who are some people in your life that have kind of showed you what it means to be a leader and have served as kind of role models for you in life?
My parents, both my parents, my mom, my dad, they're both very competitive. They both don't like losing. They both went to college to do with sports. Mom went basketball, dad went football. They never liked losing. They always were just like, they always would push me to be better than I am every day. They care about me much. Like I always look up to them whenever I need something.
That's good stuff. How about pre-meet rituals? What are some things that you always like to do before the meets start, especially a big one?
I'll eat a good breakfast. I'll drink some water. I'll go to the meet. I'll probably sit there 10, 20 minutes, just listen to my music, lock in, push everyone away from me, just like get in my own zone and just be ready for my first race.
All right, you said you're putting in music. What's on your pre-meet playlist? What kind of things get you really hyped up and in that right mental zone?
Anything Lil Tecca. He's my favorite rapper. He's the GOAT for me.
You know, it's interesting because we asked that question to a lot of athletes, and it varies because some of them want the hype music before they run. Some of them want kind of the calming music before they run. But you're in the hype section, right? You want to be hyped up before you go.
And some Rihanna. She's pretty good too.
What? I love it. What's the go? Are you like old school Rihanna? Or are we talking like Umbrella, or are we talking like some of the new stuff?
Oh yeah, Umbrella's great. Yeah,
there you go.
That's good.
Love it, Drew. One of the things I also want to make sure we ask is about the school life. You're a student athlete at Lowville, and you hold up fantastic grades. What's some of your favorite subjects and some of the teachers that you think have really helped get you to where you're at in the school life?
Subjects. I'm not a good math guy. Math's not my thing, but I do love my math teacher, Miss Reamer. She's great. All my teachers are actually just great people. They're all good teachers. They all do what they know best. They're great. But probably my favorite subject, I would have to say probably anatomy. Anatomy is fun.
So, like, you're a standout athlete there with track and field. Was there a moment when you realized, like, hey, this is me. This is what I want to identify as. This is, like, the sport for me. Like, let's talk about, like, one of those favorite memories that you have coming up through the ranks there.
Yeah, I used to go to Struthers, and when I was younger, I was more of a football guy. Like I always thought that's what I was gonna do, and everyone would always consider me, oh, this kid's pretty quick. So eventually, I did some injuries, had some injuries in football, messed up something in my spine, I tore my ACL, and then I realized one day there's a sport dedicated to running fast. So I always wanted to try it, and I realized I wasn't too horrible. I wasn't that bad. So I tried it. I kept working at it, and I think it's what I want to do now. It's my thing.
My last question for you is, how much do you think you run a week? Like, if you had to put a number on how many miles you put in on your legs on a typical, work week? Well, what do you think you're doing?
If I had to estimate, probably 2 to 3. 2 to 3.
That's way more than I do. Sype, how much are you doing?
Me? 0. I don't. I had to change the way mid 40s hit differently. So I used to jump in some reps here and there, and I raced a kid in a 60 a couple indoor seasons ago, and I absolutely blew one of my flexors up. The backstory to it was a Friday. I was wearing jeans, running shoes that were not tied, and I didn't warm up at all. And I just jumped in like I'm 18 years old still, and
I could do this.
I was there. I got like within 2 steps of the finish, and my flexor absolutely blew up. I mean, I went down. I was down for a long time. I looked at the throws coach. I'm like, dude, just take the team out of here. This is embarrassing. Game over. So it hit. So I'm not much of a runner anymore. I do like to lift weights and stuff like that still, but I am off the running. I'm off the running track. It's over.
Drew, you think any of your coaches have a chance to do any laps with you?
Yeah, they can handle it. I think they got it.
Yeah,
I think they can do it.
He's not throwing shade yet. He's not out of there. So
well, no, they've our senior night's next Tuesday, and they've been on me about a coach's 4x1 for a few weeks now. I'm like, oh my god, I don't know if I can make it.
We should do that too. That'd be fun.
Drew, we want to thank you so much for coming on, talking to us, especially in the middle of your school day. We hope that maybe we got you out of a test or something.
Yep.
That's our goal. We appreciate your time, buddy. Thanks for coming on. Congratulations on everything you've already done, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, good luck, Drew. Way to represent the Valley, man.
Drew Modelski from Louisville. Sorry I cut you off there a little bit. I was a little bit quick on that trigger. But what a great kid. What a great answer. What a great, well-spoken interview there, Sype. I mean, I think we tried to get him on last year. If I'm mistaken, we couldn't quite swing it last year when he was doing so many special things.
Yeah, we tried getting him and Mike on last year, and it didn't work out because it like placement tests and all that stuff. We did get Sophia Yawn on, and
we did.
So fantastic. I mean, all those Louisville kids are great. Their coaching staff is fantastic. You can tell that they're bringing those kids through their program the right way. They're all respectful. They compete hard, and as you can see, they all have good results as well.
And as we're talking about Louisville, it kind of brings up the small school mentality of how much these smaller schools really shine on the track and field and cross country. I mean, you're talking Louisville, McDonald are just the two that like come top of mind, but you even go more into it. The runners we see in these smaller schools, Middle Ridge, Jackson Milton, Springfield. It's just remarkable to see some of the athletes that are hidden a little bit under the radar because track and field isn't talked about nearly as much as it should be. But if you kind of take a peek through that curtain and look into the track and field athletes and what these kids are doing in these smaller schools, oh man, we got some good runners down there.
Oh, absolutely. I think the two of the best distance runners for the female side in the entire area. One goes to Heartland Christian and the other one goes to McDonald's. So, I mean, if you can do it, you can do it. You just have to have that dedication, that drive. You have to be willing, like Drew said, you have to make sacrifices. You have to work hard. But, I've been compiling data and tracking some names here since we got together. And, most of the schools that we're talking here are our smaller schools. I mean, it is a smaller school area. The population is declining and all those things. But, I mean, McDonald, South Range, Mineral Ridge, like you said, LeBray, JFK, Mooney. I mean, there are players across the board. Once again, this year, I think we're going to be very well represented at state, and we're going to be very well represented on the state podiums this year as well. So I'm really looking forward to see how everything is going to open up. We're finally getting good weather. So some of these, there are good posts already. And if this is what these kids are posting already in bad weather, I can't wait to see what happens with the good weather once it starts happening.
You know what I love about track too? We're talking about small schools, big schools. Like track is a sport, and all the other individual sports are kind of the same way. If you're fast, you're fast. It doesn't matter how big or small your school is, right? Like some of the other sports, like football. If you're a Division I football team, you're usually a much bigger roster. You can sub guys in. You can have that advantage of being bigger. But in track and field and cross country, if you're fast, you're fast. It doesn't matter how big of a school you go to. Like that might go into like the team scores if you have more runners to kind of put out there. But at the end of the day, like if you're talking one-on-one, if this kid from Lowville, Drew Modelski, he's faster than a lot of D1 kids, it's just because he's fast. Like you can't really stack up. It's not as it's a little bit murky when you're talking about trying to compare big school, small school in these individual sports.
Well, I mean, the two fastest boys 100 times in the area right now. One is from United, that Danny Milburn, and then Chalker Southington. They have the other fastest 100 time in the area this year. So, I mean, Chalker's graduating maybe 30 something.
Yeah,
kids
Chalker
a year.
might be one of the smallest schools in the area. Period.
Absolutely, yeah. So, and they have a guy that ran 10:68, and Boardman's school record is 10:61. So, I mean, that's a kid from, again, a dot in northern Trumbull County popping a good time out there. I mean, it's impressive. Again, you can do it. You're either fast or you're not, and that's one of my favorite things about track, opposed to some of the team sports. Like, how come you're running so and so over this person? Well, here's what they ran, and here's what they ran. That's why. It's pretty simple stuff there. Now, again, you do have to train. You do have to do all the right things, because I've also seen very talented athletes not pan out just because they didn't take the little things and the behind the scenes stuff as serious as they should have.
Coach, we have a little bit of catch up on. We were a week away, so tell us, what are some things that have happened in the last couple of weeks that have really stand out? Maybe some times that really open your eyes in the last couple of weeks, and some runners that are really making a name for themselves as we get closer and closer to districts.
Well, I mean, we're still going to talk about some of the same players that we've talked about from last year carrying over. All the McDonald throwers, Zajac, let me think, Shilly, she's having another great year. Emma Bundy, she's having a great year over there. Ellison out of United, he's throwing it pretty well. And again, Braden Bryant, Drew, his teammate Pazel, he's having a great year. I mean, it's not necessarily like where the times are right now, but you're seeing the kids starting to develop and come out of their shells a little bit because the weather's starting to break. 2 weeks ago, we talked about the Mahoney County meet being like a joint meet this year. They used to divide it up into big and small schools. And then this is the first year that they put them all together. And we got to see, Drew race against the Fitch kids and the Boardman kids. And he put the smoke down on everybody. It was amazing. Like, it was one of those days, like, you could tell in the tone of his voice that he was a little like not happy with his performances, but it wasn't even close, Coach. Like, he smoked everybody there. My personally, and I'll probably throw some shade at my own guy. It was Wednesday, and it was during testing. I was out in the hall, and he was like out in the hall walking around. I'm like, "Hey, what's up, man? You ready for Saturday?" He's like, "Man, I don't know about this Lowville kid." I'm like, "Oh, here we go." So he had some of my guys beat before the races even started. And I mean, when you're putting times down, that's the kind of stuff that you do out there. So, and you just got to show up and try to revamp how your approaches are. So that county meet was nice. The Fitch boys and girls both put their studs out there. They won both of them. I really think that the Fitch boys are one of the better male teams in the area this year. And then the Fitch girls, very strong. I think they're one of the better ones. And of course, as always, the Salem Superpower girls, that team just has kids show up every single season, and they're just one of the better ones around here. I don't know. There's something in the water there that makes their kids run faster, stronger, and jump further and higher than anybody else out there. So, again, I'm really excited to see how it goes. But like I said, the main players, our McDonald kids, our Ridge kids, our South Range kids. I mean, you can tell who's doing the right things and who's getting coached the best possible ways out there.
To shine a light on your kids, I know you threw some shade at someone.
Hey, it's all right.
So we'll shine some light. You had some records being broken this week, right? At Boardman, some new record in the discus relay.
Yeah, the girls discus
4x8 and the co-ed 4x2.
Yeah, we had a couple new ones. We went to the green relays last Friday, and we got one of the crazier meets I've ever coached at. We got to see a hurricane right in the middle of their meet. So we had a 2-hour delay, and then we came out and ran the co-ed 4x2, the co-ed 4x4. And then our discus gals, they put on a show, man. That record was standing for 13 years. So Sarah Barrow, Lily Eisen, and Lily Warren went out there, and they all threw some nukes out there, and we had a nice night. They broke the record by over 8 feet. So that's a lot to stand on. Those girls, they've worked their tails off. Darian Williams and John Pelini, our 2 throw coaches, I think they're 2 of the best in the biz. They always get the most out of their kids. And again, we're up there with, I know John's a big numbers guy. Everybody on my staff, like our staff, is a numbers guy or gal. And they're out there figuring it out. And he's like, we would be here in the state. We'd be number 2 in this division, number 1 in that division. This is the best team. This is the teams we want to see. Can we try to get this meet on the schedule next year? It's one of those deals where you have something, you're cooking with fire. So you want to make sure that we want to make sure that, that the cliche thing, iron is sharpening iron. So we're already putting it together for next year, working on a schedule too. So I'm excited for the kids. And again, it's getting nice outside finally. So we're going to get some out there as well.
Well, the only thing you have to say in Boardman Athletics is Sarah Barrow, and something special is going on, right? Whether it's whatever sport she's playing. I mean, wasn't surprised to see her name on a record board, flashing lights.
Yeah, I'm very proud of her. I'm very excited to see how the rest of the season goes for her. And you're right. Sarah Barrow is one of the best we've had. She's going to end up with 15 letters when she's leaving. I mean, how many throwers in the state can you say also run cross country?
15.
Yeah. So she has 4 in track, 4 in hoops, 4 in soccer, and then 3 in cross country as well. Yeah. And again, an all-state thrower is a cross country letter winner by merit, not by
you don't
or anything like that.
You don't know the answer to this, but who has like the most letters in Boardman athletics history? Do you know the number?
Oh my gosh. So years ago, there was a picture of a girl in our old foyer for the weight room. Mm-hmm. And when they did the new construction, that picture came down, and I haven't seen it in over a decade.
Uh-huh.
Do not know the name. It was a basketball girl. I can picture I can envision the picture, but I cannot remember what the girl's name was. I think she had 14 though. So
Sarah Barrow might be one that
she could be number after this.
Do some digging.
I could be misspeaking.
Right. We're speculating. We're speculating right now.
I do not know the complete history of our golf teams and how some of those sports, play into it. But she very well could. 16, I think, is the realistic max that anybody could have, but that could be wrong. But like I said, I think that old one was 14 that girl had.
I think Jackie Grisdale for Poland finished with 20 one year. Yeah, when she finished at Poland, she had 20 because she did soccer, cross country, or golf and cross. She did 2 in the fall, basketball, softball, and she ran track at the same time too.
Yeah.
So
and that's and again, she's killing it. I can never pronounce that college properly.
Quinnipiac.
Yeah, she's killing it up there. So, and Grizz was great. I remember competing against her a number of times with our girls, and she was one of the better ones we've seen too. People really sleep on the Mahoning Valley, but there are a high number of kids that we pump out of here that do very well athletically at the collegiate level, and then they end up doing really good things with themselves afterwards as well. So
we'll have to do some journalism to see if Sarah Barrow is breaking the record for most letters as a Boardman athlete.
We will be looking into it. I know our throws coach he's been doing his best to figure it out, but I do think that, again, I could be dead wrong, but I'm pretty sure that she's going to be one of the more decorated athletes. Definitely one of the more decorated athletes. She's all state. She could be again this year. She's done very well. Several championships as a team leader. Again, she's one of the better all-time athletes that we've had, and she's going to be a Buckeye too. So I'm excited to see what she's going to do down there.
So stay tuned. We'll have updates as the season goes on.
Absolutely.
On what we figure out. We have an exciting week ahead. What can you preview in the track and field world? What's going on before we talk again next week?
Well, the big one this weekend is the Optimist meet. It's over at Austintown Fitch, and that historically has been one of the better meets in the entire state. So we're expecting to see a lot of good teams coming in. The Solon girls, the Fitch boys, Bedford's coming in. St. Ignatius is coming down. And then, as you said, some of the better small school athletes that are seated very highly in the meet. Another name that I know, Ava Hewlett. She's one of the top seeded hurdlers at the event. So I'm very excited to see what she does when this meet gets going on Saturday. I'm really hoping that the weather stays nice and, these kids have an opportunity to perform in really good weather there.
We're excited for that too. We're also excited for the continuation of Running Wednesdays. If you're just joining us, this will be something that we do every Wednesday. We'll bring Rick Sypert on. Hopefully every Wednesday we can get a track and field star on with us to talk about their journey, and he can bring some of those knowledgeable track questions that me and DJ just probably would be so lost in trying to ask. So rest of the track season we'll be locked on to you and giving you all the track coverage we possibly can, because like I said before, you look outside of the YSN network and the coverage of track is just not where it needs to be, and we're trying to raise that bar a little bit. We understand that broadcasting it is a little bit tough. We need more than one camera to do it without making people seasick, following people around in a circle with one camera in the press box. But we'll get there. Until we do, though, we're gonna do our best to cover as many athletes as possible every Wednesday here with Rick Sypert. Coach, thank you so much for all your time between doctor appointments. We appreciate it. We'll see you back in the classroom next week. I'm sure, right?
Absolutely, yeah. I'll be back. We're on the home stretch here, so I know it's kind of crazy how fast the school year's closing out, but it's all good.
Coming down the home stretch. It's crazy to think that we were talking softball before we popped on. Where the draw is Sunday.
Yeah, sectionals
Sunday.
The 10th is sectionals. But I mean,
so the draw is this weekend, right? So
that's correct. Yeah. Sectionals is the 10th through the 17th. I mean, that final push is coming here, man.
We still got conferences up in the air, including the Boardman Spartans and the AAC. They still have a lot to figure out in that conference with two teams outside of the top, because Howland opened the door for Boardman and Fitch.
We
have upset over Canfield.
Yeah, we have a couple big ones next week. We have a home and away with Canfield.
Yeah.
I think the 6th and the 7th, or the 5th and the 6th next week. So they got a big game. They got some big games coming up next week. So we're all looking forward to seeing them. And again, like we said, it's a conference, man. You have 2 defending state champions in there. You can't ask for a better competition.
Just imagine if you're able to win that conference with 2 state champions in the mix. I mean, if Boardman wins that conference, you open your eyes and I know it doesn't mean anything once tournament starts, but at the same time you go, oh, Fred, you're putting something special together. We might have to finally give Fred a little bit of credit.
It's all good. Give Fred a hard time as much as you want. He's a great guy. He's worked very hard, and they back down from nobody. He puts the best schedule.
They're playing Walsh tonight.
What's that?
They're playing Walsh tonight. That tells you they're not backing down from anybody.
No, they'll play anybody anytime.
Top-ranked team in the state. So
yeah, really proud of him. He's a good guy. I can't be any happier for Fred. I mean, those girls work their tails off. They're excited. I mean, I'm really hoping that some good things happen for them.
We love Fred. We also love giving him a hard time because he's a Broncos fan.
He is a Broncos fan. I mean, I have no words for that one. So,
thanks for coming on again. We appreciate your time, and we'll see you again next Wednesday. All right.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much. Have a great week, man. I'll talk to you soon.
You too, man.